Hello everyone. Welcome to the webinar for Dynamics Field Service Introduction presented on January 16th, 2017. The webinar will be presented by me, Ayan Bose, and my colleague Vandana Daya collectively. Today we would like to take you through the basic functionalities of Dynamics Field Service Automation, which has evolved in the recent past to enable organizations to keep a track of all their field engineers as well as to ensure that the client's work orders are scheduled and acted upon promptly. Field service capabilities enables every department of the organization to play their critical role of enhancing customer experience, all the while helping their clients with their field service requirements. Today's webinar session would involve taking the participants through a quick introduction about our organization, followed by a story around which the demonstration has been built by us. We would follow it up with a demonstration of the desktop version and the mobile app, which would be interesting, and would then leave the session open for questions and answers from our participants. Now let me quickly introduce our organization to you. Dynamics Square is a Microsoft certified partner having operations in India, Australia, UK and US markets. Having experienced professionals across the Dynamics suite of software solutions covering Dynamics 365, Dynamics CRM, AX, NAV and SharePoint, Dynamics Square within a short span of time has acquired more than 160 clients worldwide. With state-of-the-art IT infrastructure and flexible engagement model, which is 24/7 plus support services, makes Dynamics Square a runaway success. Dynamics Square, being a partner of Microsoft Dynamics Suite Business, has completed multiple implementations in different domains. Now, if you see over here, we have listed down certain valuable customers with whom we have completed Dynamics Suite implementations. Now we have implemented Dynamics Suite for retailing companies like Southland Supply Group, who are into retail of protective gear, clothes and footwear. We have Adelaide Marble Specialist, which is into stone retailing and landscaping projects. Wine Selectors, which is also into retailing but is also into distributed network business. Koala Images for the World, which is into service industry for gift cards and wrapping services. And just to name one more, like K-Care, who are into healthcare equipment retailing and servicing of the same for their clients. Now our clients depicts the versatility of all the domains that we have done implementations in till date. Coming to the introduction of our presenters for today's webinar, I am Ayan Bose, who will be leading this webinar. I have an overall experience for about 20 years, out of which a substantial number of years I have been involved in CRM project implementation across industry domains. I have Vandana with me, who is a functional consultant. Say hi, Vandana.
Hi everyone.
And she's a Dynamics 365 specialist. She also helps the team in solution mapping for our esteemed prospects as well as clients. So let us quickly start off with our webinar. I'll hand over it to Vandana to take us through the next few slides of the webinar.
Thanks, Ayan. To understand the field service automation, we must know that there are many complex challenges that customers face in managing enterprise field services for their clients and organization. The Microsoft Dynamics 365 Field Service System provides state-of-the-art field service management software to address these challenges and to face the difficulties and to go through them very easily. Recognizing the disruption driven by mobility, cloud and big data, we needed a revolutionary solution and here it is. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 Field Service harnesses these new technologies. It provides a comprehensive feature set, open architecture for simplified integration, flexible deployment options, and on-demand configurations. Being an integral part of Dynamics 365, field service is available as a desktop client as well as mobile application available for Android, Apple and Windows devices. Once start with buying a subscription for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Field Service Automation, that is the name specified within the product, by visiting the billing panel which is present inside the admin portal and can start using the application right away. To go and start using the application, go to Dynamics 365 as presented in the previous slide and hover to the field service automation as highlighted in this slide. Field service automation time. So starting on with the field service automation helps you get supercharges scheduling, equipping your mobile workforces and get profits from predicted services. So these are the field service capabilities which we'll be walking through. Coming to the executive management, field service automation provides rapid and on-demand configuration, which a simple person, a functional person can also do that and understand it very quickly and to get used with it in a short span of time. Robust reporting and business intelligence is also present, which obviously helps in revenue expansion and growth of the industry or the clients you are working for. So coming to the operations management, Schedule Board is a great tool which enables the dispatchers to send their field service engineers via the best possible route. Field service help the dispatchers and field service managers to keep a track of field service engineers' availability and utilization day by day or month by month, or all that is available while scheduling them for unscheduled work orders. We have mobile resources as a tab over here. So what it depicts is field service engineers have the capability of being in real-time connect with their dispatchers using mobile app, all the while completing various tasks of the work order all through the mobile app. Field Service mobile app enables the engineers to take sign-off from the client immediately after completing the task. This helps in keeping clarity between client and servicing partners about all tasks being completed on the client side. IT department or IT organization, as you can see here. So we have flexible deployment options with off-the-shelf functionality available, and it is highly scalable and software platform. So yeah, that is that. IT team does not need to hire developers to maintain field service deployment because of simple configurable solution and scalability within the configuration as may be required. End customers has improved their experience over the time because of the quick turnaround for their work orders that have been generated with clear visibility of all the tasks to be completed. They are able to give sign-offs real time using the field service mobile app with no hassle of following up. So these are the participants of our story which we'll be presenting through this. So we have our storyline here wherein we have a few participants. They are part of the cycle that we are going to show you today. We would like to show how each participant acts as a catalyst for the different stages of field service cycle. So our customer support executive who takes the details from the client as the client calls up or drops in an email and other activities. Our dispatcher who schedules the work orders, our field service agent or engineer who ensures the completion of all the tasks using the mobile app, our field service manager who takes a stock of completed work orders and analyzes the resource utilization and the overall status of all the work orders present in the schedule board. All around these participants, our customer is always the main key. Coming to the day in life of a customer support executive. This is an interesting part of it. So our customer, Mr. R.K. Patel, calls through our IVR and lands up with our customer support executive, Pallavi, to whom he explains that he would require a maintenance of site of his company. Pallavi understands the details and captures all in a phone call, which we'll be showing in the demonstration, and identifies that she would require to create a case of the information gathered from Mr. Patel. So she creates a case from phone call and then assigns the case to our dispatcher, because she might not know that which kind of work order that can be. So she assigns that case to dispatcher so that he can accordingly see the visibility, the utilization and the availability of different people, so that the IAN can decide what kind of incident would be required for the work order to be created. Hereon, IAN would be the owner of the case and also would ensure that he creates a work order from the case to capture all the details for the work order.
So Ayan is the dispatcher as mentioned in the last slide by Vandana. So Ayan, after discussing with Mr. Patel again, decides that he would need to create a work order with an incident type as maintenance. Now he selects the incident type as maintenance and then converts that particular case to a work order. Once he has created a work order, he checks through all the details like the service tasks, the products that are to be consumed at the client side while completing the work order, and the services that would need to be rendered for completion of that work order. And then checks the availability for the resources on basis of the characteristics of the field engineers required, the work hours that would be required to be at the client side, the travel time, etc., to see who is the best suited field service engineer, and decides Juhi for the work order because she fits the set best. Ayan then schedules Juhi on the schedule board accordingly. This initiates the work order transformation into a booking, which Juhi is able to check on her mobile app and then follow through the steps. Juhi, after checking her mobile app, identifies that she has been allocated a booking that she would need to complete at Mr. Patel's site. After checking details for the booking, she starts from her start location. Now this location is defined in the resources as part of configuration, and there are two locations that are defined. One is a start location and one is a end location, which can be either the resources address, that could be her home address, or it can be a company address, that is wherever she is aligned with. So it all depends upon the organizational unit that she is aligned with. We'll talk about these terms when we are seeing the demo. She starts from a start location, which may be a resource location or company location as just specified by me, set up in the settings that also decides the travel time for Juhi from the location address to the client site address. She changes the status to traveling on the mobile app for the booking that she has received as soon as it starts to get to the client side to complete the work order. This immediately updates the work order with a booking timestamp and also enables her manager, which could be a field service manager as well as the dispatcher, to be able to see the real-time status of the work order on the schedule board. And when she has changed the status to traveling, the people who are back at office are able to see the status of the work order as traveling. After Juhi reaches at the client side, she changes the status to in progress and starts completing each of the service tasks and then takes a sign off for each of the service tasks from Mr. Patel. All the while, Juhi also ensures she captures the actual used inventory and actual to be billed inventory that would be invoiced to the client. She ensures she captures the services that has been completed so that the invoice which is going to be raised for the client also adds the cost of the service to the final invoice. After completing each service task within the work order, or in her case the booking, she takes sign off plus captures consumed inventory and completed services Juhi takes a final sign off on the booking from the mobile app and changes the status of the booking to completed. This helps her manager, who's a field service manager, and the dispatcher to know that the work order booking has been completed and hence change the status of the work order to open completed in the system automatically. This ensures, so we have then a small customer which we will be showing in the demo. This ensures an automated email is triggered to the client, Mr. Patel, to let him know the status of the service tasks and the work order. Juhi's manager Vandana, so she is the field service manager, is in office all the while keeping a track of all the work orders and their schedule on the schedule board. Vandana checks the actual time consumed for each of the service tasks, consumed inventory and completed services, plus the payout time for Juhi for the actual number of hours she worked at the client side, which has been recorded through booking timestamps on the work order. Once Vandana is convinced that all is fine, she changes the status of the work order to closed posted. This immediately generates an invoice for the client and Vandana can then review that invoice and add if she feels that the charges being taken for the services is not covering the payout time for Juhi. If Vandana feels the invoice is good enough, she sends the invoice for the client to pay. Vandana also watches the dashboards of field service administrator to have a quick look of all the work orders and their impact on the organization. Dashboards being highly configurable as per the likes of an organization can be defined without any hazards.
So let's see how the story unfolds on the system. I would request Ayan to guide us through the demonstration of the field service desktop as well as the mobile app. Over to you, Ayan.
Thanks, Vandana. So let's get started on the system. So whatever story we saw, we'll be looking at that particular story on the system. So let's have field service. Yeah. So this is how a field service dashboard looks like. So field service dashboards are highly configurable as I mentioned earlier. Now these dashboards are like, there are certain dashboards that are predefined when we implement a Dynamics 365 field service automation. But then these dashboards can be defined as per the requirements of the organization who are going to use the field service automation. So here you see certain dashboards like incident types per month, which is a a bar diagram wherein shows how many kind of incidents have been created over the month of January 2017 and how each of the incident type is being captured for active work orders which are in which have taken place in this particular fiscal period. Now fiscal period is like January to December and which can again be defined during the settings of the system. On the right hand side you see another set of dashboard which shows active work orders with the highest number of amount that is coming from different organizations for whom these work orders have been created. So Verizon Wireless is giving the highest amount of revenue over here, which is based on the estimated amount of the work orders that has been created for Verizon Wireless. Similarly, we have another dashboard over here which talks about the volume of each of the work order types that have been created over a period. So we can define the period as a month, week, or whatever. So here we have defined as month. So in that we can see how many work orders have been created for each work order type. So inspection being the highest, which is about 7 number of work orders that is open, and these are all active work orders. So active is something which is a state present on the field service work order records. Now we in the settings we can actually define whether you want to make the work order that has been completed as deactivated or not. That is all part of configuration that we do when we are setting up the system for any organization. So moving on from the dashboard, how it looks like. So Pallavi was a customer support executive who would have received a call from Mr. Patel. So we'll go to a So whenever a customer support executive receives a phone call from our customer, they can record it as a phone call activity in CRM. So we have already, for the convenience of time, we have already created those records for this particular webinar. So I'm going to open up those records that is already created, and we have a phone call already created for us, which is this. Can you see that? So this particular record shows that Pallavi, who's a customer support executive and was logged into CRM Dynamics and using the service module of the Dynamics 365, created a phone call by entering certain details as to what was the reason that Mr. Patel was calling up. So here it comes from whether it's an incoming call, and the phone number gets populated, and you get the phone, you automatically get the name of the person from whom the call is coming up. She enters certain details in the description field, and depending upon that, she then chooses to convert this particular phone call into a case. Now, when she converts this particular phone call into a case, when she converts that phone call into a case, the phone call activity gets completed automatically. And if you see the regarding field over here, that sets the case ID on the phone call record. So just as a matter of fact, we have already created the case. So, and we have attached this particular phone call to the case already. So we'll open up the case form over here. Otherwise, normally, when you have not created a case for a phone call, it gives you an option of convert to case in the ribbon of the phone call form. So I have the case over here. Certain details are auto-generated, like the customer name and the main contact, who is the primary contact of this account. So we can have multiple contacts within an account. So we can define one primary contact which can be auto-lifted by the case form whenever a phone call or any email activity is converted from the activity to a case. So we have the case title is automatically set as per the description that was defined in the phone call. The subject is picked up, then, and also the origin. Where did this phone call come from? Where did this case originate from? So it's automatically populated as phone. The activities that was converted, the activity that was converted from into a case gets attached to the case automatically over here. If you see over here, now this is a social pane. This section is called a social pane. This social pane actually has all the sets of activities, posts, internal posts, and posts between the users and who are accessing the same case record simultaneously. There can be knowledge-based record that can be attached to this particular case, which can be important to follow through on what kind of steps should be followed for a particular case to be resolved. And we have then internal notes. Now, the difference between posts and notes is this. Posts work like your Facebook. So if you have somebody who has posted something on a particular case or an account or a lead or any such record which has got a social pane, the posts can be seen on the wall of a user. So wall is something like a notification page in the dashboard of every user. And notes is something wherein it does almost the same thing. The only difference is that you can actually attach a document to it also. That's the difference between posts and notes. So the description can be defined, and to convert this into a work order, now the case has already been assigned to Ayan, who's a dispatcher, by Pallavi. So what he would do is to convert this case into a work order, would again make a call to, and I can add an activity from here. So you can add a phone call and make a phone call to Mr. Patel, get some further details from Mr. Patel. And once he's convinced that he has to convert this into a work order, he goes down to the field service section over here and picks up an incident type. Now we have picked up an incident type as regular maintenance. Now the regular maintenance has got certain tasks, products and services attached to it, which will automatically get populated when the case is converted into a work order. Now we have already created the work order. I'll open up that work order now for you, where I will show you the detail that has automatically got populated from case, and the other details which has automatically got populated from the incident type. Now incident type is nothing but a template that you configure at the when you are implementing field service automation. In the template, you can define all sets of tasks, products and services that needs to be consumed for any kind of incident, and the work order automatically populates all those details on the work order. So I'll just show you. So let's open up the work order now. So I'll go to this section. I've got field service over here. I'll open a work order. So I'll pick up a work order number 40 over, which is the latest one. So we just created a few minutes back. So so that shows the time and the date and the time when it was created. So I'll open up the work order over here. Right. So let me just click on it. So now the work order is opening up. So this work order was raised with an incident type regular maintenance, right, Vandana? Yeah, so regular maintenance. So because of the template that we had already defined, this particular work order would have got the attributes from the incident type template already configured and updated in the work order. So there you would see certain details over here, like the service account and the billing account auto populates from the case from which the work order was converted from. The incident type also travels from the case to the work order. The work order type is automatically defined because it is linked to your incident type. There are other details over here on the left hand side. So if you see, the incident type is over here. The incident type duration has been automatically been defined. Then we can come down over here and we see that it will cost approximately 1,05,000. So how this 1,05,000 is calculated is on the basis of the products and services that has automatically got attached to this particular work order, which I can see over here. So if I click on this products, I can see that these are the two products that would be utilized. And if I see over here, it would be this service that will have to be rendered at the client side to complete this regular maintenance. Apart from that, it also shows the service tasks that would have to be completed by Juhi, who's our field service engineer, from her mobile app when she actually visits the client site and starts completing them. So she would have to go through these service tasks, consume these products and define how many quantities were actually used and how many has to bill to the customer, and also define that the service has been completed or not, and if yes, how much time did she take to complete that particular service at the client side. Now the next step is about scheduling this particular work order to a available field service engineer. Now that is done on, so I'll go to the next stage. I hope I am being clear till now. I'm trying to go as slow as possible so that we do not confuse the participants over here. So I am at the next stage. So here, the best way of scheduling a particular, so there are multiple ways of scheduling a field service work order. We can do it from here. We can do it from here, or we can actually go to the field service schedule board, which is here. Now I have already opened the schedule board, so it looks like this. Can you see this? So the field service work order has got certain sections which I would like to take you guys through. So this section on the left hand side is about the filter criteria that a dispatcher would use to identify a particular field service engineer to whom he or she wants the field service work order to be assigned to. That's one thing. We also have certain details like map view. Now within the map view, the best thing about map view is it actually shows you the pins on the Google Maps. In Microsoft Dynamics 365 we use Bing Maps. So I'll just click on always display pins, and if you see, you're able to see the, I'm just zooming in so that for the convenience of the participants over here. So all these red question marks that you can see on the map are like unscheduled work orders, right? And if you just hover your if you hover your mouse on any of the pins, you'll be able to see the details of the work order also. So the work order number, what is the company name for which the work order has to be completed, and few other details like this. Now these blocked colors are actually resources or your field service engineers. Now the resources can be contacts, your resources can be accounts, your resources can be contractual vendors, your resources can be your own users also. Now so these guys are your resources. So the blue one depicts Juhi, the purple one depicts Vandana, and the green one depicts Ayan Bose. So you have the names of each of the users who are the resources for your field service, who are also shown on the map. Now this also helps to define a possible route and who's the best available resource to the nearest client side. That's one way of mapping between a work order and a resource. The other way is by just right clicking on this particular work order. When you right click on the work order and you click on find availability of current resources, what it does, it tries to map certain details like the availability, secondly the working hours of the resources. So each of the resources have got working hours also, and the next available time slot to start the work order. Now if you see over here, only Juhi is available out of the 4. Only Juhi is available to start this work order immediately, and it also shows you the actual booking time, the travel time to reach the client side from the place where Juhi's location is. So if Juhi's location is resource address start location, so it calculates from there the approximate time that Juhi would take to travel from her resource from her address, from her current address to the client site's address. Now if I click on book, it automatically books this particular work order books Juhi for this particular work order, and Juhi would be able to see that particular work order as a booking on her mobile app. So let's go ahead and okay, so you also see skill sets of a resource. Now depending upon what kind of skill sets have been defined for Juhi, it will actually show you the name, there will be colored inspection against each of the skills that Juhi holds, and depending upon the proficiency level, it shows at the highest level or at the mid level or at the bottom level. So there are 3 proficiency levels also, which is all part of configuration when we are setting up the system for you. So moving on, if I click on book, so leaving aside the travel time, which was 19 minutes, now this particular work order has been booked. So the legend over here shows the status of the work order. So right now it has been committed. It has not been started. It is not traveling. It is not completed. So there can be different stages that you can define. So when you have it in, so committed and scheduled is more or less same. So it will actually show you almost the same color if you see this. So it is showing you this. So it is not only committed, it is also scheduled now. So you can even see the icon. So if you see this watch over here and the watch over here, it shows scheduled. So this particular work order has been scheduled for Juhi to pick up. So what Juhi will do is, she will not be logging on because she's a field service engineer, remember? So what she would do is, she would actually go on to her mobile app to access this particular work order as a booking on her mobile app. So let's open up Juhi's mobile to showcase a mobile app. What we have done is, we have installed a simulator, an Android simulator, which is by the name of Knox App Player, as you can see over here. And we have installed that particular app, which is called the Field Service app, on that Android simulator. So we'll open up that app and see how it looks like for Juhi on her mobile while she is on the move to the client side to complete any work order. So let's open up the mobile app. So the mobile app is opening up. Vandana, I hope I am clear till whatever I have explained till now.
Yeah.
So this is how it looks like. This is the main screen of the mobile app with the Field Service Dynamics 365 mobile app. Now, before she is able to see her bookings, what she will have to do is she goes online, goes to the section where she has to enter her credentials to connect to the CRM at back at office. So we already have the URL of the CRM, so it's the same URL as you can see over here. You see that? And she enters her credential which has been given to her by the the O365 administrator or the CRM administrator while creating her user ID. She knows her password, so she enters her password and then leaves this save password as on so that she does not have to enter the password every time she syncs data from the desktop version to her mobile app, and then clicks on this particular sync button. So when she clicks on sync button, the mobile app syncs data from the desktop backend left in the online server and gets data to her mobile app and let it sync. So it's syncing certain records which are relevant for Juhi. She can go offline now and click on bookings. And there you go. If you see, she just now, a few minutes back, she was scheduled for number 40 work order, which is over here, and it is to be started at 6:26 p.m. So it's already scheduled for her. So we saw scheduled, so we saw the scheduled color over here as well on the dashboard, which is back at the desktop version. Now what she needs to do is this: she opens up the booking on her mobile app. So if you see, it's written as booking over here, not work order, and she's able to see the status of the booking. She's able to see at what time she needs to start the booking, approximate duration that it would take, including the travel time. So it's 1 hour 19 minutes. She has to travel about 6.74 miles, so it automatically calculates that as well as to how many miles will need to travel from her address to the client side. So it automatically calculates that. Of course, you do have the option of overriding that, but then we can also make this define in our field service mobile app that the people are not able to change the miles traveled field. We can do that. So what does Juhi do now? Because she's going to start off from her address to reach that particular client side, she changes this booking status from scheduled to traveling and then clicks on save. So now the status over here is showing traveling. This data will sync back into the into the desktop version. So obviously because she's in offline mode, it will not sync back, but we'll just click on sync and click on sync. And just to show you, she doesn't need to do it every moment because anyhow it does an auto syncing every few seconds. But just for the sake of viewership, I'm just showing as to how it looks like on the scheduled board, which is back at the office. So if you see, the color has changed. So it is now traveling, and the icon on the scheduled board has also changed to traveling icon. Can you see that? So that's how it keeps your field service manager as well as your dispatcher always be aware about what is the status of the bookings on the schedule board. So they don't have to run after their field service engineers. They don't have to call them up. They don't have to SMS them. They just have to keep a track on the schedule board, which is in front of their own screen. Now,
so I have a question.
Yeah, please do.
If a field service engineer is in not in service area, like his mobile is not in the service area, so he might face some problem. So what is the exact way or the best way he should proceed with his or her task, and then coming back to his manager? So what is the possible way?
So I think I've answered that question partially, but I'll try and explain it again. So it's a very good question. So the thing is, like, can you see this offline mode? So when he's not in network, he is in offline mode. Okay. So when he's in offline mode, he can still complete all the tasks in the booking on the mobile app only without even worry about syncing it back to the CRM system back at office. As soon as is within the network, he just need to do one thing. He just need to click on online mode. Okay. And as soon as he does that, the data gets synced back into the CRM. So he doesn't need to do anything. Yeah, it's a real time.
Real time.
Absolutely real time. Okay. So he doesn't need to do anything as such. So there is no hassles of data getting lost or booking details not getting passed over to the CRM and a desktop version. That would not happen ever, right? So let's go on to see what Juhi needs to do next. So she's traveling right now, and she's yet to reach the client side. So what she does now, she reaches the client side and decides that it's time that I actually start my work. So she reaches out to Mr. Patel, meets her, greets her, and gets greets him and says, let's start on with the work. So what she does, she changes the status of this particular booking from traveling to in progress. Now what happens? It automatically picks up a booking timestamp over here. Can you see this? It's linked to your phone's time zone. So as soon as she reaches there, it picks up that today at 6:35 p.m. she reached there. She has reached. Now because she has changed the booking status to in progress, so she has reached and she's now about to start her work. And the end time automatically changes to 7:51 p.m. because of the time that she would need to take to complete this particular work order. She can then define an estimated duration time to travel. Now we know that she might take about 19 minutes, but depending upon the traffic, she might say that she took 25 minutes. She can even add a cost, say about 100, yeah, and then saves this particular work order. The booking. So if you see, the status has become in progress now. Of course, this status over here will automatically change had I been online, which I am not right now. So I'll probably be online and sync it back, and you will see that the status on the work order dashboard, which is with the field service manager and our dispatcher, changes status automatically as the data gets synced from from the mobile app to the schedule board over here. While it is happening, let's go back to the booking that Juhi has, and she will now go ahead and complete each of the tasks. So she would have to, of course, be she will have to go there and open up this particular work order. So see, it has changed to in progress now. So that's how it changes. So it's real time, it's quick, without hassles, no follow-up required, and you don't have to worry about your work order status is not reaching your office. Right, so let's get on with it. So what is it that we need to do? So we'll move on to the details of this, the work order over here, the booking. She goes through the details, so she gets the info. If dispatcher has left any specific instructions, she can actually read them over here, and any other details that she thinks she might be required to go through, so she knows estimated amount that she would have to, this client will be billed after the work order has been completed. She can even see the marking of her of the client's address, so she can see the pin where this particular client site is, and of course she can even ask for traveling route before she starts. She can use this as well. Now she looks out at the incidents that she needs to complete. She has the service task, the products and the service that she will have to actually capture details in. So let's get on with it. So let's start the service tasks. So each of the service tasks, she knows what all service tasks will have to be completed. She goes in each one of them. Once she has completed the task, and she changes the percentage, completed percentage as 100%. She can even leave it lesser than 100%. And she can always, when she leaves it lesser than 100%, she can always create a follow-up also for the same work order. And of course, the work order does not get completed in that case. Now, once she has done that, she can enter certain details. So done, the task. So she has done the measurement. So she just don't go by my comments. It's just that I'm using some arbitrary comments over here. The duration that was supposed to be taken for this particular service task is 15 minutes, but she says that she took about
20 minutes to complete, and then goes into the notes section over here. She can even take a quick picture and attach this particular picture to the service task, or she can choose to just take a sign after entering certain notes from the client, Mr. Patel, and then clicks on save. So the note has been created, attached to the service task, which of course the field service manager will be able to see in his desktop version, which we will show you later on, and then comes back to this particular work order and then clicks on save. So if you see, this particular service task has been completed. Same way she moves on to do the next one, gives a stage, defines the number of minutes she took, and now this is not mandatory. She does not need to go into each of the service tab to get a sign off from the client. She can leave that, because anyways she will have to take a sign off at the end of before the completion of the booking. So she can actually take a final sign off also, which I will show you later on the mobile app itself. So but for the convenience of the people, I'm just doing it, and gives a sign on this one too, clicks on save, comes back, clicks on save, and that's it. And then finally signed, gives it 100%, says the duration that he took was 10 minutes, and then simply clicks on save. Similarly, he goes on to the products section, because when he was coming over here, he would have taken those products from the warehouse. So the warehouse can be defined over here, which I'll show you. So can you see this over here? So she can define that where did she pick up the products from. Then she changes this particular line status to used. As soon as she does that, she is able to see two more quantity fields. Now this quantity field is the field in which she writes how many did she use while completing this service task, and this one is something that she needs to define how much is to be billed to the client. Now it can be lesser than that or equivalent to the quantity that has been. You can never be more than that. So and then two not to be billed because of some reason. I'm just writing that. It can be a very defined reason by the field service engineer, and then simply clicks on save. Automatically the cost of the 4 that were supposed to be billed comes up over here, which will be billed to him as 36,000. Next, he picks up again, picks up the warehouse over here, defines it is used. Now here the quantity is picked up automatically from the estimate. So estimate is actually the place from where this particular value 10 gets populated. So it's 10 populated already. So he says quantity 10 used, but billed only billed to be billed only 8. And just adds some notes about, and then clicks on save, and automatically the calculation of 48,000. Now how did this 48,000 come up? So this, he has used 8. So if you click on info, you'll be able to see, if I go to the products again, and if I click on this product, if you see on the estimate, you'll see the cost of each of this product. So here it is, pricing. So you see, it's 6,000 per unit. So 6 into 8 is like 48,000. That's how it has calculated, right? Similarly, so he has added the products that has been consumed, and then he adds the services over here. He goes to each of the service. So whatever, if you have got only one service over here in this scenario, he picks up that he has completed that product. So that's completed service. Defines the due. So this is automatically picked up as, so I'll change it because I'm doing it within a span of 10-15 minutes. It's automatically showing as 1 minute. Otherwise, it will not happen ever, because your field service engineer would not be completing the services as soon as he reaches. He would do something, then he would take these details into it. Similarly, he will so the duration will never change automatically for your convenience. I'm just showing you that it has changed, and it will never change otherwise. So, and now here he actually enters this particular section, how much to be billed. So here he enters the number of minutes that is to be billed to the client, completed the service. He adds some comments over here, and then clicks on save, and automatically, depending upon the minutes that he has entered, the calculation is done, because the unit would be different for this particular service also. If you see, the unit amount is 3000, he has entered, she has entered half an hour, so automatically the total is 1500 for half an hour. So she has completed all the, the details about the work, about the product, so of the work order. So I'll just save and close. So it's still in progress. Juhi, now what she does is, she now has to simply complete this particular booking by taking a final sign off from the customer. So what she does, she goes to this section, clicks on signature, and then takes a sign from Mr. Patel on the booking, clicks on save, comes back to the booking again, and changes the booking status to completed. So if you see, it automatically picked up the current time as the end time, and depending upon when did she start, it has calculated the total duration of this work order including the travel time as 36 minutes. So this whole section is something which is controlled from the administrative configuration, which can be controlled to an extent that nobody can override this. Even that is possible. This particular user is given a higher license, so that's the reason he would be able to override it, but otherwise a field service engineer would not be able to override this section. That's totally configurable.
Does the system takes care of the inventory in the warehouses present?
Yeah, absolutely. So whatever inventory has been consumed on a particular booking, automatically the inventory at the warehouse, which will be showing out in other webinars that we'll be doing, it keeps a track of all the inventory and deducts the inventory automatically. So adjusts the inventory automatically. So now that he has completed this work order, how does it look like on the desktop version for the field service manager and the dispatcher back at office? We'll just see that. So that's all about it on this particular mobile app, as far as mobile app is concerned. So Juhi, as a field service engineer, goes out to the client side, completes everything on the mobile, gets a sign as well, and shows everything on the mobile to the client, and then completes the booking on her mobile. Okay, let me just sync it back. I missed that step. Yeah, so
yeah, that one has to take.
Yeah. So this will automatically happen if I am online always, so I don't need to worry about syncing it manually. So let me just look at the details to the desktop system, and it should show up over here in a few seconds. It is loading up all the details, and because it has just synced the details, and here it is. So if you see, the status is automatically changed to open completed on the desktop. And to see over here on the if you see, it also shows the status of this work order as completed. So the total duration was 35 minutes. That's all captured automatically from the mobile app. So let's go back over here and see few more details over here. So this field service manager, who's the manager of the field service engineer, will actually run through all the details that has been captured by the field service engineer. So he checks the duration that he took to complete the service. 1500 automatically calculated on the basis of 30 minutes. Products that were consumed, you can see that, right? So 50,000 and so the total amount would be 48,000 and 36,000. Service tasks that were completed. He can go into each of the service tasks to see the details of the service task. So he goes into a service task on the desktop section, goes into the and gets to know the details, what is the actual duration that was captured by the field service engineer, and she can also see the signature of the client if anything was attached by the field service engineer. In our case it is Juhi, so she attached a signature on the first service was, and you can just click on save and see it. There it is.
Oh wow.
So it all travels from the mobile app to the to the desktop version automatically.
And so quick it is.
And it's pretty quick, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like within seconds it syncs back all the information for you. So let's go back to the work order again, just to see other details on the work order. On the work order, there's one more thing that I was talking about the booking. So whenever a booking is passed over to the field service engineer, and whenever the field service engineer does steps in the booking, it actually captures booking timestamps, which is again manageable from the administrative settings, that it cannot be revoked by any field service engineer. So here it is. Here's the booking. So the auto detail has been automatically calculated as 35 minutes she was there, which we saw in the mobile app also. So let's go into the booking now and check out other details within the booking. So within the booking, there are two things which are very, very important. One, the booking timestamps that were captured by the system while the field service engineer was changing the status of the booking on the mobile app. So the booking timestamps are automatically captured over here. Can you see this? So it was scheduled at this time. At the time 6:33 it was it was made into traveling. At 6:30 it was made into progress, and at 6:48 it was shown as complete. So these booking stamps are automatically captured. And see, if you see over here, where did this timestamp come from? So it also captures as to where this was it from mobile or was it from desktop. It actually shows you that. Plus, it also captures the latitude and the longitude automatically.
Yeah. Of the resource.
Of the resource, yeah, from the client side. So if he was at the client side, it would have captured the actual times, that particular location's latitude and longitude where he was completing this work order from. So he cannot actually define. Of course, there are apps which you can change, but then this app actually captures the real-time location coordinates also. Apart from that, it also picks up other details like the booking journal. So from the booking timestamps, the journals are automatically created, which tells the field service manager as to how many minutes the money is to be paid out to the field service engineer. So she was traveling for 3 minutes and she worked for 11 minutes. So she is to be paid out for 11 minutes, the amount that she would be paid out for.
Does the system also keeps a check upon the overtime if a person needs
so that's part of configuration, wherein you define as to whether if you're working beyond your work hours, then it automatically calculates on the basis of overtime, or if you're working on a holiday, it calculates on the basis of, so it's all part of configuration. Yeah. So the administrative configuration we are referring to. So let's go back to the work order again. So I'll go back to the work. So that's how the booking timestamps and the booking journals are created, which actually defines the payout amount for each of the field service engineers. It is really, really very helpful in case your resources are outsourced. So that actually helps you out to calculate your payout that you need to do for your contractual employees or contractual field service engineers. Now, all said, now the only thing that the field service manager has to do is finalize everything, and then just click on next stage. The field service manager is happy with all the details and just changes the status from here or from here, any of the two. So she chooses from here. She clicks on close posted. The system automatically saves the record. And as soon as the status of the record becomes close posted, the system would generate an invoice at the background, which I'll show you now. So I'll be able to see my invoices. So here it is. So when I click on it, so the work order was number 40, and here it is. The work order has been generated. So it has calculated the products and the services that were consumed on the work order, and depending upon whatever was entered by the field service engineer and reviewed by the field service manager is populated on the invoice, which now can further be reviewed by the field service manager. And if the field service manager feels that he wants to add some more records or some more services to it, so she can always do that by adding further products to it and attaching it to the invoice. Otherwise, the billed amount would be, that shows over here. The total billed amount would be 85,500, which is a total of all the captured details that came from your, from the mobile app consumption to the desktop version over here, and then convert it into a invoice. So you can take the steps of taking this particular invoice to review mode and then getting it paid. Once you have confirmed and once you're okay, and you just click on confirm invoice, and the invoice has been billed. There will be no further changes that would be allowed on this invoice. So of course, now this invoice can be synced into your ERP also if you have any ERP, and you can, once your payment has been done, you can sync back the payment received for this particular invoice back to CRM. So that kind of syncing can also be possible. So that's how the whole cycle works out as. So we saw today that how a client who calls up field service company to get some field service support has to touch base with only one person in this organization, that was Pallavi. And then rest of the departmental personnel as dispatcher, the field service manager, the field service engineers is followed through guided processes just and on promptly. All this while it is being done, the client is always kept informed and is an active participant to ensure smooth transition of all the work at the site, as well as he's always informed because he's signing off each of the service tasks, the products and the services that are consumed while the service order is being completed by the field service engineer at the site itself. Now, field service capabilities are not just limited to creation of work orders and scheduling them and getting them completed. It also has inventory management module. It has got agreement based work order automation as well as work order auto routing capabilities, which we of course will show you in our future videos about field service automation. So you can keep watching out for our space over here for future videos. So over to you, Vandana. I think I'm done with it. Let's open up this session for questions and answers. Do we have any questions coming in through?
Yeah, I am. We have some questions coming through.
Okay, great. So let's listen to them and try and answer all of them.
Okay, so we have the first one coming from Emma Wilson from Canberra.
Okay.
Whether she is asking whether all the field service agents need to have a CRM license.
Good question. So in some scenarios, like if your company outsources field work to other vendor or contractual field service engineers, as we call them, who does not need to work, who do not work exclusively for you, these agents can be created as contacts and resources in Dynamics 365. However, these people would also require a field service license because if they really want to use the mobile app, if you just want to pass on the information via other methods, you can always not have licenses for them. But in case you want to give out that mobile app access, you will have to have the field service license for themselves.
Thanks, and I think that answers the question from Emma. We have another query coming from Grace Anderson from Campbelltown. So he is asking, how long does it take to implement field service automation for a team of about 20 to 25 agents of theirs?
Okay, it's a good question. So there is no standard implementation duration, because generally whenever an organization asks for an implementation, there are certain attributes very, very specific for the organization. But if we take few assumptions like sales and service modules are already implemented and we just need to do field service for that organization, I would say 4 to 6 weeks with certain amount of customization on the workflows and activities, auto activities. I guess 4 to 6 weeks is good enough. But there are other several parameters like
if you have to customize the mobile app also as per the requirements of which is because this particular mobile app is totally customizable as per the requirements of the client. We can always add on the effort hours to customization of the mobile app. But if we just use standard features, then I guess 4 to 6 weeks time is a good enough time to implement field service for about 20-25 users.
Okay. So there's another question from Henry Lee from Sunbury, and the question is, can the mobile app be customized?
I think I just answered that question. So yeah, it was a question that actually came to me. So yeah, so yes, mobile app can be customized as per the client needs.
Okay.
So do we have any more questions?
No, I guess we don't have any more as of now.
Okay, so thank you all. That was quite interesting. The questions were quite very enterprising. For all other queries, for all other queries, you may have. So please feel free to write to our email address that is mentioned on this on this slide that you can see, which is info@dynamicsquare.com.au. Or you may also visit our website as it is mentioned over here.
Okay. So with this, we conclude today's webinar on field service. Our team will be doing another webinar very soon on the other aspects of Dynamics 365, and we shall be sharing the meeting invites accordingly. Thanks for attending the webinar today. Thanks, Ayan.
Thanks, Vandana, and it was quite enterprising. Thanks a lot, viewers. Watch out for the new videos that will be coming up. We'll be presenting project services automation also soon. Thank you.
Thank you.